Okay, so we don't need all the dice when we're playing, so we're going to put most of them over here. We won't need the 20 sided at all. Probably won't need one of those. We'll want two tens and we want two sixes for sure. That we'll use to figure out where this platform rose. Let's go ahead and roll these two dice. All right, we get an 88 and a 3. So 8 will be the top column, 3 will be the row, and that's where we're starting. I'm going to mark it on my map. Okay, and so now we'll see who goes first. Let's shuffle the deck. Oops, forgetting those are highlighted. Okay, and then we'll just draw one out, and we'll see. So this is going to be Kimiko. So now Kimiko's first thing she's going to do is she's going to reach into her backpack and see what's in it. So there's an items table, and this item is okay. So that's not great. So I mean it's okay. It's fine for situation. I don't think we're going to stick around this area. I think since Kimiko is thinking we get the pick, I say we move to C7. So we have to roll to see if they're successful. They are. So they go to C7, and that is where their location is. Mark that on the roster. And then you're going to roll to see if anything is in that area. 6. Okay, it's a hazard. Well, we're starting out. Starting out great. So what happens to Kimiko? So we'll say this is the first one, that's the second one. So 2, 4. All right, there's a landslide. So they have to roll a 5 to dodge it. Okay, 5 or more. So she dodges the landslide, doesn't get hurt by it. She's fine. So she's in C4, no issue, no damage taken, anything like that. So good for her. All right, now this is Sakura. She's outspoken. She looks in her backpack. She has a metal detector. All right. That gives her a search +2. And since she is outspoken, we don't pick what she does. Her personality determines it. So at a 4, she's going to try and move. We roll 2 6-sided to see what direction she's moving to. She wants to go north, which she could potentially do if she is successful. And she is. So she gets to go to B8 is where she ends up. B8. Right now, she's got to see if anything happens when she gets there. A 5. So 5 would be that if anybody else was there, they would attack her, but nobody's there, so it's uneventful. She's safe. Okay. Now it's time for Nakagawa, who is a humanitarian. They check their bag. 41. Zip ties, man. Nobody's getting anything great. All right, zip ties. And that would be a move -3 if they basically zip tie somebody, they won't be able to leave that space. I mean, it potentially could be good, but kind of hard to use. Oh, we didn't decide what. Whoops, we didn't decide what they're going to do yet. So they are a humanitarian. So let's see. Humanitarians of 3. They try and hide, and so they need a 4 or more to hide. They don't manage to hide. Okay, so nothing happened. Okay, so now on to Bilal, who's very unstable. Looks into their backpack. I think that's a 13. Yeah, 1 and a 3. Binoculars. Man, everybody's getting very passive weapons. Not even weapons. Okay, they have binoculars. That gives them a move +2. I mean, they're really not bad. Moving's actually not bad because eventually the rounds start ticking down and moving's good. But okay. So what do they choose to do? They are unstable. And 6, by the way, no matter what your personality is always to move. So they got to get a 4 or more, but they get a +2. Doesn't matter. They would have done it anyway. Let's roll both of these to see where they're going. Oh. All right, so a 6 and 6, 12 is the one to go Southeast. So there's land there. That puts them in D9. And let's just take one of these and see if anything happens in that space. Oh, environmental hazard. Okay. Black one's first. 5/5. Landmines. They need a 6 to cross safely. Oh my god, they made it. So they made it across the landmines. That is impressive. For an unstable person, they did really well. Good for them. That's a very bad roll, those landmines. But okay, good for them. Okay, and now this one is a Mew, who's outspoken. Looks into her bag. So she has a rangefinder. Now this one hasn't been play tested too much. This might not make it to the final game. But what this one does is you get a movement of +1, and if she's partnered with somebody who has a weapon, they get a +2. So it's not bad, but I don't know how common that's going to be. And if it's not common enough, it may not make it to the final game, just so you know. What do they choose to do? Being outspoken, there's somebody in her space. She does try to convince anybody in her space. She is in C8. And Nakagawa is also in C8. So she's going to try and convince Nakagawa to join her team. All right, so we'll have Miyu be the black dice, Nakagawa be the red one. Nakagawa says no, not joining her team. Them and their zip ties. All right, that's Kiddo, who's a bully. Looks into their backpack. '76 is a Desert Eagle. That's a good weapon. The Desert Eagle. They get a +1. Okay. They are currently in C8. What do they choose to do? 6. They try to move. Remember, 6s are always move. I just got to roll one of these. My bad. Let's see if they're successful. 4 they are, and then we'll roll 2 to see what direction they go. They go to southwest. D7. All right. Everybody's splitting up, taking off running. Anything in D7? No. Uneventful. All right, Ruby, who's the leader, looks into their bag. They have a crossbow, which will give them a +1. And what do they choose to do? They also choose to run. All right. Oh, let's see. First, see if they can. 4 or more. Yep, they can. So where do they run to? They also go southwest, so same as the bully. That puts them in D7. Who is this? 9 of diamonds. Ruby. D7. Okay. And we still roll for the event, even though somebody's already there. It could be an environmental hazard that could trigger for everybody. So you always roll that. All right, Jack of Spade. Manabu, who's political, looks into their backpack. They have a Bowie knife. All right. Cool. And what do they choose to do? Political 3. Oh, they choose to use that Bowie knife right off the bat. They're in C8. Who else is in C8? There's 2 people in C8. Miyu and Nakagawa. So I think the way I'll resolve this, I'll say Miyu is odd and Nakagawa is even to see who they attack. They attack Miyu, the outspoken one. So to do this, we are going to roll 2 dice. We'll make the attacker the red one. They have a knife that's going to be +1. And Miu has the rangefinder, which isn't going to help her on this one. So she gets no plus, no mods. So, but she ended up with a 6, and even with the +1, she's a 5. So basically, Manabu chases Miu around with the knife, but does not catch her. Chu is the thinking one. She looks into her backpack. What does she have? She has a 20. She has a Mac 10, which is a type of SMG. Mac 10. It's pretty good, but it doesn't have a good multiplier. The spread's too wide. Multiplier is nice because you can hit more than one person at a time. Because they're thinking, we get to decide what to do. If this is a multiplier, I probably would spray everybody. But let's see here. Oh, let's just say Chiu saw Manabu chasing Mio with a knife and decides to attack. So Chiu will be red and will have a +2. And Manabu, even though defending, will still get a +1 for having a knife, because they will still try and defend themselves. So they'll try and charge. And so, oh shoot, I did this wrong. So when the bully attack, oh no, when Manabu attacked with the knife. Okay, so when Manabu attacked with the knife, I missed this because Miu was successful. It doesn't mean Miu just dodged. Um, it actually means that Miu gets the upper hand on Manabu, and that Miu would have actually been successful on an attack. So let's wind this back a bit. I forgot about this. Sorry, still new on the playtesting. So yeah, it's whoever wins. So what actually happened is Mio did beat Manabu. So we got to see what kind of damage Manabu took. And so this is on the injury table, or this is on the injury table. So 5 is death. So actually Manabu gets beat to death. I don't know with the rangefinder or what, but Manabu does not kill Mio with the knife. Instead, Miu beats Manabu to death. And so now we go ahead. I'm gonna mark 1 kill count for Mew. I done that wrong. Sorry about that. So now Chio comes out. We'll still have Chio attack. Maybe she saw Miu beat to death Manabu with a rangefinder, pulls out her SMG and attacks Miu. Let's do it that way. And so, oh, actually, we are the thinking type. So let's think about this. So seeing Mio beat Manabu to death, the range finder, which would give anybody on her team a +2 to attack if they have a weapon, it'd be better to have her on our team. So I think as a thinking person, we will try and convince Miu to join our team. That would make more sense. All right, so we'll take the red dice since we're the one doing it. And so that's going to be Chiu. Miu will be the black dice. We're looking for the highest number. It is tied. Unfortunately, that they don't come over when it's tied, and there's no pluses. Nobody has a plus for convincing people. All right, that's it for them. Now the King of Clubs, Toshi, who is militant. Um, what is in their backpack? A sporting rifle. Okay, that's a +1 to attack. All right, let's see what they choose to do. They choose to attack, so they are in C8. There is 3 people to attack: Miu, Chio, or Nakagawa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see, 1, 2. So that's going to be Chio. So Chio has the Mac 10. He pulls out his rifle and he's going to try and shoot. Now Chio will shoot back with the Mac 10. So the militant person, they do as a personality have a +1 on attack. So they'll have a +2 and Chio will have a +2. So they are equal on this one. Oh, and the militant gets the hit. Hits Chio. What kind of damage does it happen to Chio? Chio 6. Chio is dead. All right, we're getting bloody pretty quick here. See what I'm saying? Sometimes people just do not last long. So the militant has got a kill as well. Plus, this particular one where everybody starts at the exact same spot and doesn't have a roll call, this tends to be a little more bloody than the other ones because everybody's just in the same spot and they're all just opening up their bags at once. All right. This is, looks like Sasiki. Oh, this is the other Mew. She is humanitarian and she has. And what does she choose to do? She chooses to comfort somebody. So, comforting can be healing if somebody's actually hurt. What it will do when they are not hurt is if she is successful, they get a +1 on their next action, whatever it happens to be. So in C8, we have three people. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go in order on the roster. 1. So Mew, the other Mew. She tries to comfort the other Mew. So red is the aggressor in this one. So it's successful. So Mew, feels good about themselves. So whatever they choose to do next turn, they're going to get a +1. So it's kind of nice to have a humanitarian on your team, but they, on their own, they don't always do much. Is this one card? All right, last person this round. 2 of clubs. So this will be the longest round we'll have because we've already lost 2. So this is the bully, or I think another bully. There's 2 in this class. They have duct tape. Everybody's got these weird weapons today. All right, duct tape. I'm not a fan, honestly. I prefer the actual weapons. But they also can search and find new ones, so we'll see what happens. So that can cause a move -1. Duct tape is not as good as the zip ties. All right, what do they choose to do? 3. They choose to search for something else. They also apparently don't like the duct tape. Oh, get back here. Get over here. Sit this way. 1. Unsuccessful. So doesn't find anything. So that is the end of round 1. Now as you go, the rounds get quicker. We reshuffle, and then we repeat. All right, next round. Who goes first? And as we draw people who are dead, they go into the cease pile, and that is when people know that somebody is dead. So this can come into play if, like, say, you have a lover and they're not there, and when they get announced to cease is when the rage kicks in. It doesn't kick in necessarily at the moment of death. Okay, so this is Bilal, who's unstable. Oh, this one that walked through the landmines. That's right. They're in D9. What do they choose to do? Unstable. They choose to search. I should mention something. Unstable does have one unique trait that nobody else has. If they ever roll a 3, it's an abandon. It basically means if they're on a team, they'll just leave the team. Nobody else just leaves teams. Only unstable people do. But that's the only thing that's really different with them. Okay, so they choose to search. They got a 6. They're successful on searching. So you just roll on the items table again when somebody does that. This is a 12. So they find a pump action shotgun. Now this is up to you if you want to take these or not. It just, you can depend on like what you think that person is, or if it's just good like you would do it, then do that one. Right now they're carrying binoculars, which means they can move, but I kind of feel a shotgun would be better. I think they'll take the shotgun instead. So we'll just, you can only have one item, and the other one just disappears. So we'll give them the pump action shotgun. That's the end of their turn. So this is Nakagawa. He's just seen some brutal killings. They're holding zip ties. They are humanitarians. What do they choose to do? 2. They also want to comfort somebody. Oh, good on them. So nice. I'll just roll this and just count down the list. Also going to comfort Miyu. I don't know if Miyu's hot or what's going on here, but we're all for Miyu. So let's see if there are 6. Oh, we got to roll both of them. Miyu will be the black dice. Miyu doesn't care. Not enough to comfort Miyu. An additional plus anyway. That was their turn. All right, now Toshi, the militant one, who just gunned down one person. decides it's time to move. So, oh, don't roll 2 yet. I gotta see if they're successful at getting out of here. They are. Okay, now we roll 2. What is that? A 5 and a 4? All right, so they try and go southwest. Well, they successfully go southwest. Let's put them at D7. Okay. So they make it D7. There's somebody else there. A bully is there, but we gotta roll an events table. Oh, so we got a 5. So when somebody else is in the presence and you get a 5 on the events table, they attack. So the bully has a Desert Eagle of a +1. They shoot at Toshi, who has the rifle of a +1 plus their military trained, so they'll get an extra +1. So they have +2. The red dice is going to be, I cannot read my writing, but the bully. Ooh, so the bully gets a +1. However, the military guy gets a +2, so barely ends up beating him. Doesn't mean he kills them, the bully, but we can roll. Both a 5, it does mean they killed him. So that is another person gone. It's going quick. Queen of Diamonds. Sakura is outspoken. What does she choose to do? Being outspoken. She looks for anybody else in B8 to convince, but there's nobody else in B8, so she can't find anybody hiding or anything. We move on to Ruby. She's a leader. What does she choose to do? 1. She chooses to attack. She's in D7. Can she find my attack? Oh yeah, there's someone else in D7. So, I guess it could have been anybody I could have attacked. I guess I should have rolled. I didn't realize Ruby was also there. So, since somebody had to attack the militant Toshi, I could have rolled to see which one it was. I didn't. Whatever, who cares? So, ends up being the leader's there. The leader decides that they're going to now try attack the military person after watching that gunfire. So they have a crossbow. They have a +1, and then military guy has a +2. Let's see what happens. Ooh, get some. Okay, good job. So Ruby does shoot the military guy Toshi with that. So 1 on the damage is an injury. You roll 1d10 and you -2 to that. So that's a high one though. Let's see what that is. So that is a burn. Now with something like a crossbow, like obviously the weapon itself wouldn't cause a burn, but maybe she hits some kind of lantern nearby or whatever and explodes onto Toshi here. They get severely burned from this. That gives them a hide -2 and attack -1. So let me make a note of that. Hide -2, attack -1. So that's going to lower that, but he's not dead. Toshi's not dead from this. Just beaten pretty bad. Oops. 8 of hearts. This is Mio. Now Mio gets a +1 because she was comforted before last turn. She's outspoken. What does she choose to do? 5. I believe that's run. Yeah. She chooses to get out of the space. She'll get a +1 to use. Oh, I gotta just roll 1 dice, my bad. Let's see. 4 or more. She's got +1. Does it. Now we see which direction she goes. 2 dice for that. Southwest. So she was at C8. So now she goes to D7. There's a decent amount of battle going on at D7. Welcome to the blood zone. And I'm going to get rid of her +1 now. I made a note of that. And so she used it to get over there. Now we do, since she's in a new space, we'll roll so that any events happen. A 5. So she does automatically get attacked. This time I'll roll to see who it is. 1 or odd, it's Ruby. 2, it's Toshi. 2. So Toshi, the militant. He only gets a +1 now because he has been burned. Miu has a rangefinder. That does not give her a plus. I'm not going to give her a minus for not having a weapon. I probably could, but I didn't last time, so I'm not going to. Okay. So, All right. Since the +1, they are successful at attacking Mew. The damage is a 2, which is a standard roll on the injury table. And they got a 5. Severs their finger, so shoots the finger off. That gives them an attack -1. So Mew loses a finger, but is not dead. Yeah, just lots of pain. Awesome. All right. Now, okay. This was Manabu, the political person. Oops. They are dead. Their death gets announced. Then 7 of diamonds. This is Kimiko. Oh, thinking they are on C7. They're carrying a frag grenade. Um, Nobody else is on C7. We get to pick what they do. This is the last thinking person. Everyone's dead. So Kimiko, I think we should search. A frag grenade isn't great. 5 are successful. Let's see what else we can get. I'd like to get a better weapon. This is 22. First aid kit. That's like comforting and whatnot. No, we're not going to do it. We'll keep the frag grenade. All right, so they stay in C7. 2 of clubs. This is Rio. They're bully. Oh, I didn't mark where they're at. They must be. Okay, let's see what they do. 5. All right, they try and run. Try and go somewhere. They have 4 more. They get it. All right, let's see. They go north. So they were in C8, so they go to C7. This is where a thinking person's at. Kimiko. So Rio goes up to Kimiko. Now we do roll on the events table, see if anything happens. 4. 4 is a structure. We haven't done a structure yet, so we'll go ahead and do it. I don't always do structures. Sometimes I slow the game down. 1, 5. So they come across an old library in C7. Okay. So this is for Chio, the last thinking person. They are dead. Their names get announced. And then this is Suzuki. Got a bunch of zip ties in C8. They're humanitarian. They had done some good comforting last time. This time they said they're going to try and hide. And they're successful. So they are hiding in C8. Pretty much once they're hidden, they're basically just not visible to anybody unless somebody searches and is successful. And once they move and they're successful at moving or do something else that they're successful at besides hiding, that will reveal where they're at as well. But up until then, their basic count is not being there. And 10 of spades. Nope, this person is dead. Just the bully. So they get announced. That's it. That is the end of round 2. And so we're down to 9 people already. Only on the second round. I said this goes faster and faster. All right, so this is Bilal. They're unstable. They're on D9. What do they choose to do? 3. Oh, this is the abandon. So when they get abandoned and there's nobody, they're not really in anything. Nothing happens. So they don't do anything this turn. All right. Nakagawa is in C8. They are humanitarian. They got a 4. Or actually, I wasn't looking. Sorry. I rolled again. They got a 3. They're also going to try and hide. They are not successful. So nothing happens. Toshi, the militant one, who has been on a killing spree recently. Well, actually didn't kill, has been on a damage spree. So what do they choose to do? They're all burnt. They choose to get out of here. Like, I'm going to try and run. Successful. So let's see where they go. 7. They go east. So that puts them at D8. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, D8. Yeah, nobody's in D8. So let's see. Don't see anybody in D8. All right, so let's see if anything happens when they got there. Nope, uneventful. Next. Sakura, outspoken. 3. They will attack, and so Sakura is in B8. Nobody else is in B8, so yeah, nobody else is there, so she can't find my attack. Ruby, the leader with the crossbow, what does she choose to do? 5. That's search. So I'm going to look for maybe a different weapon. They are successful. Let's see what they find. An antique flick pistol. No, the crossbow was better. Definitely going to keep that. So I'm not going to take the antique flint pistol. Okay, Mew, who had a +1 the previous turn, but now is missing a finger and does not have that with her rangefinder in B7. Let's see what she chooses to do. She's going to keep on rolling or running. Well, doesn't get anywhere though. Doesn't leave the sector at least. All right, Kimiko, who is thinking. They are in C7. There's a bully here of duct tape. They have a frag grenade. There's not a great reason to use it, but I'm going to go ahead and use the frag grenade. This is actually a bad idea because what will happen is once they don't have a weapon anymore, they'll get a -1. And so the frag grenade will be used up. But it's an area of effect. I want to kind of show how it works. So we'll have Kimiko throw the frag grenade at Rio. And so there's no pluses for anybody. But if Rio wins with duct tape, they'll be able to tie down Kimiko. So red is Kimiko. So it was the bully that won with the duct tape. So the frag grenade explodes, but does not hit Rio. And Rio manages to then jump on top of Kimiko and duct tape them down. That puts the duct tape down to 9. Or yeah, no, they only have one thing of duct tape. So they use all their duct tape on Kimiko, which gives them a movement of -1. Okay, well that's interesting. Oh, and now it's Rio's turn. So Rio no longer has a weapon. All right, no longer has a weapon. They have convincing, so they're going to try and convince Kimiko to join their team. So Rio is red, Kimiko is black. No bonuses. Tied doesn't convince them. Yeah, Kimiko's not in the best spot, but hey, sometimes you're like, hey, tie me up. It's not going to do it. All right, Suzuki, humanitarian. Tries to comfort. They're in C8. Nakagawa's in C8 as well. So tries to comfort Nakagawa. Nope. Not enough. Not enough to give them a bonus. So that is it. Flip this over. That was round 3. And the next turn, we're going to start having danger zones. Actually, this is the beginning of the next turn. So it's now. So the outside edges at this point all become danger zones. On my sheet, I mark them as red. So it's everything in row A, everything in column 10, everything in row J, and everything in column 1. So not much on this round, but still possible. And what I do is I usually put one line through the square, and then when it gets to the death round, then I cross the square out and kill anybody in those spaces. Now, once the square has been declared as not good, they won't move into it. And so if they're standing it, it's still fine, but they will move somewhere else. All right, so 2 of clubs. Now they do have to roll to move out. So there's C7, the bully. Oh, this one try to convince. Okay, what do they choose to do this time? Well, they weren't happy with them not convincing, so going to attack them. Um, she can defend herself fine. Neither of them have a weapon. They're both technically -1. So yeah, they're tied. It's the only way they don't both die. All right. 10 of clubs. Okay, so zip ties weapon, NC8. This person is humanitarian. They will not be attacking. They're going to try and move. They are successful at moving, and where do they go? They go west. So that puts them on C7. Kimiko's on C7, and so is Rio. They come to an interesting view of somebody duct taped up and defending themselves. Okay, we have to roll to see if there's any events that occur. 2? Nah, nothing. Nothing matters. All right, Sakura, outspoken. Would like to try and find somebody to attack. Still nobody in B8 though, so I'm sorry, hun. Not gonna find anything. Mew, missing her middle finger, is going to do what? She's going to try and run. Is she successful? She is. Oops. Leave the dead alone. So she also tries to go west. So she's on D7 and then goes to D6. Okay. Bilal's on D9. They're unstable. They got a shotgun now, though. And they're going to try and move. Yeah, they don't get anywhere. Ruby, what are they going to do? Ruby is a leader of nobody. They don't have anybody on their team. But they're going to search for maybe something better. They don't find anything. Kimiko. All right. Kimiko, they have they're duct taped right now. They have a bully. Our moving's going to be bad. So I think we could search, but I think what we'll do is try and convince the bully to be on our team. All right, that's what we'll do. Because if the bully leaves, they'll take us with them. Doesn't work. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, Suzuki, humanitarian. I'm gonna try and hide. They're already hidden, so nothing happens. And then Toshi, the militant. What do they do? They've been interesting this game. They're going to try and move. They are successful. Southwest of D8. That puts them on E7. They're by themselves. Okay, and with that, that round is done. So we'll be on round 5. Nobody's in the danger zone, so not a big deal just yet. Alright, Toshi, who's making their way towards the middle of the place, decides they're going to keep trying to move. They're on the hunt. They don't get anywhere special. Ruby, the leader. What do they choose to do? They're going to try and move as well. They're successful at moving. And so they go southwest from D7. That puts them in E6. Very close to the militant. Suzuki, humanitarian. It's going to try and hide. Already hidden. So they're just staying hidden. Just going to hide there. Can hide there forever. Eventually, their necklace is going to blow them up. So they gotta eventually have to move. This is Mio. Poor lacking middle finger Mio. She's outspoken. She wants to move. This is successful. And where do they go? Northwest of D6. So C5. Oh, now we gotta roll for events. I always remember to do this, but structure. We'll see what it is. 2-5, let's say. A deserted railway station. All right. And then unstable ball. What do they choose to do? They would abandon somebody if there was somebody there, but nobody's there. They're probably just talking to themselves in an argument. Kimiko. Okay. Maybe we'll search this time. Successfully searched. What do we find? 81. They find a tactical SMG that is silence. That gives them an attack +2 and multi-target. The silence doesn't actually do anything, it's just for description. So SMG, attack is 2, multi. That means that there's more than one person in a square. They can hit them. They can attempt to hit them both. That'll be great for defense. Nakagawa. They try and hide. That's a 5. That is successful, so let's mark them as hidden. Rio, who no longer has duct tape. But decides to also search. I saw, well, hey, you got a good weapon. I want a good one. Oh, they're successful. They find something. What do they find? 99. I think it's camouflage. They find camouflage, which gives you the ability to hide. It's better than nothing. Might as well take it. So camo. Hide of 2. Okay. And Sakura. Sakura. Outspoken. Wants to search. Not successful. Okay. That is it. Round 5 is done. We're on round 6. Shuffle. 9 people left. 6 of spade. Below. Unstable. They're going to search. They are successful. An 8. pipe wrench. No, they're gonna keep the shotgun. They're good. Okay, the humanitarian. It's going to try and move. That's a 6 success. They want to move west. So from C8, that puts them on C7. This is where the bondage fight is going on between the bully Rio and the thinking Kimiko. Oh, wait, before we do this, we gotta see if there's an event. Structure. Let's see what the structure was. So it's C7. There is C7 at the library. We'll say that at the library instead. Ignore that. They're at the library. You can roll up more structures. It's just for funds. All right, now Toshi, they're an E7. They want to keep moving. They don't go anywhere. 8. Miho. Oh, sorry for middle fingerless Miho. She's outspoken. She wants to kill somebody. I don't think anybody's in C5 to kill. No, she can't find anybody, but she's in an angry stage of grief. Rio the bully, now has their camouflage. Probably not what they're looking for. Yeah, they're gonna search again. Successful in searching. This time they find a golf club. Yeah, they're not gonna use the camo. Take the golf club. You don't get any bonus for a golf club, but you don't get any minuses either, so it's better to take it. All right. Nakagawa. They want to comfort somebody. Is there any events? There's 2 people in C7. Kimiko and Rio are both in C7. Oh, and so is Sasuke. So let's see. Go down the order. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So Sasuke, the other humanitarian with the zip ties, tries to comfort them, talk them up. All right, let's see if they're successful. No, tied. Not very encouraging, these humanitarians. All right. Sakura, the outspoken. Wants to search. Is successful. Finds a multitude, which would be a +1. They're currently holding a metal detector. Oh, I didn't realize that. They have search +2. Well, whatever. They found it. I don't think I want them to have a metal detector anyway. Let's just get rid of the metal detector. They found a multi-tool with the metal detector. All right, Ruby, the leader. Oh, this is an overseers. We get to pick. All right, they have a crossbow. They're in E6. Let's just search if we can find a better tool here. No. Kimiko, thinking we get to pick for them as well. They're in C7. There's a big party, 4 people out here. We have an SMG multi, so we can, with +2, hit a bunch of people. I say we just try and gun everybody down. No teams, just violence. All right, so there's 3 different people we can attack, and we have to do them in order. So first one is going to be Sasuke. She has zip ties. So let's go down. Yes. So we get a +2, puts him at 3. Sasuke does not get a plus, so it's a tie. It's the only time nothing happens is when it's a tie. All right. So nobody gets hit on that one. And then Kimiko versus Rio. He's got a golf club. So +2 against no pluses. +2 is 6. 6. All right. Nothing there. And then Nakagawa also zip ties. Success on Nakagawa. What kind of damage does it happen? So 3 is injury table plus 2. Ooh, so that is dead. If you get above 10 or more, you're dead. So kills the Nakagawa, the humanitarian. All right, that's round 6. Toshi the militant. What do they do? They want to move. Unsuccessful getting out of the sector. Humanitarian. Just witnessed the other humanitarian get shot to death. Would like to try and heal somebody, but there's no way to heal. So there are 2 people in the space, Kimiko and Rio. Odd and evens. Oh, well, we're going to try and comfort Kimiko. Maybe Kimiko on your side. More of a shot, I guess. Well, Kimiko will get a +1 no matter what they choose to do next turn. Hopefully it's not to kill you. They're still duct taped, so... they can't really move easily out of the space. But the +1 might help. 9 of diamonds, Ruby, the leader in that area. Once the search is successful. Oops. 13. Binoculars. Not going to use those. We're fine. 8 of hearts. Middle finger Mio. She convinced me to join somebody, but she's on C5. There's just nobody there. So I can't find anybody to talk to. Or flip off. Rio with the golf club. They're a bully. But they want to convince somebody to join their side. And they can do either Kimiko or Suzuki. We'll try and convince Suzuki. All right. Nope. Unsuccessful. No teams this game. Kind of amazing. Yeah, they're successful. They get a team and they want to attack each other. That would be the benefit. One of the bigger benefits anyway. Kimiko is thinking, you know what? Let's just keep opening fire on people. So we get a +1. We're going to shoot at both of them. You don't want to try to who comforted us because we're just an awful, evil person. So Suzuki, I'm sorry. Yeah, Suzuki. Yeah, we get a +3. Tie. Wow, amazing. All right, and what about the bully with the golf club? We have a +2 on this one because we use our +1. So it puts it at 5-5. Nada. Doesn't do anything. An awful human being. All right. Oh, Nakagawa is dead. The head died last turn. So, 6 of spades. Bilal. The stable Bilal. He hasn't done much in a while. It's going to try and hide. Okay. You go. Unsuccessful. All right. Sakura. Outspoken. Got a multi-tool. Wants to move. She'll get a +1 because she has a multi-tool. Oops, I don't need 2 dice. I just need 1. See if she's successful at moving. She is not. You want the multi-tool. Okie doke. All right, that is it for round 7. Everybody in A and J die. There's nobody there. Anybody in column 1 and 10 die. There's nobody there either. So nobody dies on the outside edge. We start round 8 and we announce the new one. So anybody now in B or I, that's a warning zone. And column 2 and 9 is a warning zone. Now we do have people in the warning zones now, I believe. Yeah. So we'll see if they get out in time. Two of clubs. Rio is in C7. They got the golf club, the bully. They are going to try and move. They are successful. They want to move northeast. Okay, so this will be interesting. So they're in C7. And northeast is a warning zone. So they will not get to go there. So you just follow the clock around. So you can't go to C7. Excuse me. So they'd want to go to, sorry, B8 is where they'd want to go. But that one is a warning zone. So you just go down one. So it'd be C8 if you're following like clockwise. So they'll go to C8 instead. So nobody will ever walk into a space that is warning. Nobody's in C8, but we'll roll for the event. Ah, 5. If somebody was in C8, they would have attacked them. But they're not. All right, Bilal, what you gonna do? We're gonna argue with yourself. Mew. We're in C5 at the moment. Got a 4. I'm gonna try and move. Unsuccessfully. Kimiko is in C7. Not a danger zone. The humanitarian's there. Let's try and convince the humanitarian to join our side. Hey, we're successful. The first team. So what's happened now is Kimiko has convinced Sasuke to join their team. So Sasuke won't attack Kimiko, and Kimiko won't attack Sasuke. And when Sasuke moves, Kimiko will also move, which will help with the duct tape. All right, Ruby is the leader, who is in E6 right now. They look to see if they can convince somebody to join their team. There's nobody in E6. All right. With the multi-tool, the outspoken one. Also likes my job. Everybody's in team mode. They're in B8. Nobody else is in B8, so they can't convince them to join their team, but they really want a team now. All right, the militant. Toshi. They're gonna search. They don't find anything. All right, now Sasuke's now on a team, and so they're humanitarian. They choose the comfort, Kimiko, and so it's not automatic. So you roll it. Yeah, doesn't give them a boost. All right, end of round 8. There's 8 people left. Rio the bully. What are they gonna do? They're gonna run. Yep, successful. Oops. They go east. So C8 going east also can't do that. So you go down the clock. Can't go southeast, so you can go south. So they'll end up in D8. Let's see if any events happen. Nope. Bilal? Bilal's in D9. Bilal's not in a good spot, actually. If they don't move, they'll be killed. Yeah, they're just arguing with themselves. This isn't good for Bilal. Okay, Mio, what you gonna do? They're angry now, looking for somebody to attack. There's nobody on C5 to attack, so they're gonna do nothing. Kimiko thinking. They're now on a team. They have a good weapon. I think they'll try and move towards the center. So they'll try and go to D7. Now they'll still get the -1 because they're still duct taped until they get out of the square. But -1 is a 4. That's successful. So they'll get rid of that duct tape. And I don't have to roll again. I know where they're going. You go to D6 is where they go. And they both move. So Kimiko goes to D6, and because Suki is on the same team, they'll also go to D6. Now you only roll one event, even though 2 people had moved into that space. But nothing happens anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now Ruby, who is a leader, wants to search. Oh, they do find something. What do they find? They find a bottle of painkillers. I don't think they're going to take them, so nothing of use to them. All right, Sakura. She's outspoken, wants to move. Successful at moving. And where do they go? Sakura's in a warning zone. They don't move, they will die. And currently they want to go northeast. So they're in B8. You can't go northeast. That's already a dead zone. And so going clockwise, the best they can go to is C8. So that's where they go. Nobody's in C8, but something could happen. So let's roll it. 4 would be a structure. I don't feel like rolling the structure. Let's just keep going. All right, Toshi, Milton Toshi. Chooses to search. Doesn't find anything. Oops. Get off their dice. Suzuki, what does she choose to do? She wants to move. Unsuccessful. Okay. That's round 9. All right, Ruby with the crossbow is now on C8. They're in the safe zone. They want to move some more. They're unsuccessful. Toshi the militant. They would attack, but they're in E7, and nobody's in E7, so they can't find anybody to attack. Sakura, she's outspoken. She also wants to attack, but she's in B8, and there's not only is there nobody there, if she doesn't move next turn, her head's gonna pop. Miyu wants to move, doesn't do it. All right, Suzuki wants to move, doesn't do it. Ryu, actually kind of surprised Ryu's still alive. Wants to move. Success. Oops. They want to go north, so they're in D8. North puts them in C8. That's where Ruby just ended up. Any events happen? Ooh, Ruby attacks. So Ruby becomes an attacker in this one. Ruby has a +1. And Ryu just has a golf club, so no pluses for them. But Rio, or yeah, Rio has the jump on Ruby with the crossbow and beats them with the golf club. And a 3 is an injury with a +2. Oh, is that a 9? Oh, beats him to death with the golf club. Oh, and so when you do that, you can also take their weapon. So I think after beating Ruby to death, they will also grab the crossbow. So now Rio has the crossbow. And Ruby has been beaten to death with a golf club. All right, Bilal, you need to move. 5. All right, that is a move. As long as you're successful at moving, you'll be safe. Hoo, you just made it, you lucky dog. So southeast from D9. Closest you're going to get to would be E8. Nobody's in E8, but at least you're not in a danger zone. And nothing eventful happens. All right, Kimiko thinking in D6. And we'll try and move down to E6. Success. Okay, so they both move down to E6. Any events happen in E6? Structure. I'm kind of curious. What's in there? They find a brewery at E6. That's a cool place to hide. All right, that's the end of round 10. People's heads pop at the end of this one. If anybody's still in there, we have one person in the danger zone. So we'll see if they get out in time. Okay, this is Kimiko at E6. Let's move down and attack maybe Toshi. Yeah, I think we can take him. All right, so let's try and move south. Nope, can't do it. Rio the Bullies in C8. They would like to attack somebody. There's nobody there. Toshi is in E7, just to the south. They choose the move. This is a 2. Unsuccessful, so they're going to stay there. Bilal, who just got out of the danger zone. They want to search. They don't find anything. Suzuki, the humanitarian. 2, she wants to comfort her partner, Kimiko. Always the red one, so no pluses, no bonuses. Okay, Sakura's outspoken. She decides instead of leaving, she looks for somebody to attack. This will not be good for her. 9 of diamonds. That's Ruby. Ruby has been announced as dead. All right, Mew. I think Mew is one of my favorite people this time. Mew wants to convince somebody to join them, but there's nobody in C5. She can't find anybody. All right, that is the end of round 11. We do head popping now. So anybody in row B? Yes, Sakura's in row B. Her head explodes. Nobody's in row I. Anybody in column 2? No. And anybody in column 9? No. So one person dies. Now in the beginning of row 12, we mark row C and row H as danger, and column 3 and column 9, or sorry, column 8 is danger. And we just drew Sakura, the one who has had popped and she had died. Her multi-tool did not save her. Wah wah. All right, Bilal, what you up to? You unstable person trying to attack anybody in E8? Nobody's in E8. All right, Militant Toshi wants to move. Can't find the way out. Humanitarian wants to comfort again. Work on your comforting skills. Hey, good job. +1. Since Kimiko's not injured, they just get a +1 on the next roll. Speak of the devil. All right. Let's try and move south. With the +1, it's a 3. Still not good enough. They don't make their way south. Rio the Bully. I'm going to try and move. They are successful. Oops. Northeast from C8. So they are in a danger zone, that's like really bad one. There's nowhere they can move except for D7. So that's the only safe place they move. So that is where they move. Didn't technically even have to roll that one. D7. So they get out of the danger zone. Their head will not be popping this turn. Smart move. All right, Mio, what you gonna do? Mio's also in a danger zone, but decides to search. Successfully searches. And they find a hunting rifle, which will give them +1. Since they didn't join any teams, I think that's probably something they'll take. So they'll take a hunting rifle, +1. That rangefinder just wasn't doing me any favors, although they did beat somebody to death with it, so, you know, yay for overachieving. All right, that's 12. We begin round 13 now. Sasuke the humanitarian wants to comfort her partner again. You can do it. They don't believe you. Toshi wants to move. Successful. North. Oh, look at this. Toshi comes to them. So Toshi moves up north to... Oh, I misinterpreted where Toshi was. Toshi wasn't north. So he actually goes to D7. I don't know why I was thinking it was south of the other two. But Rio the Bully's in D7. So does anything happen? 4? Nah, just a structure. I don't... Well, that's what the structure is. A rundown motel. Okay, so they rent each other a rundown motel. Mew wants to move, and I definitely think Mew needs to, or they're going to blow up. Oh, success. They're not dying yet. So southwest of C5. D4. Man, they are just so far away from people. I don't know. I think we'll just try and hide. Let's hang out in E6. Not successful. Bilal wants to attack. Nobody's in EA, but that's not a safe place to be, buddy. Rio the Bule. They want to search for something better than the crossbow. Success. Let's see what they find. A scoped hunting rifle. It's actually the same as the crossbow. I don't know. I think we'll keep the crossbow as far as the bonuses go. So, all right, that's it for round 13. Round 14. 6 people left. Rio the Bully gets to go again. What's the move? Doesn't get to. Not successful. Bilal. Four is a search. Not successful. All right, Mew. 4. There's a move. 3 is unsuccessful. Toshi on the move. Successful. What are you looking for, Toshi? Northeast from D7. You can't do that. So you end up in E7. Again. Anything happen when we went back to D7? Nah. All right, humanitarian roll. They want to move. Like, no, we shouldn't stay in high. We should move. 6 is success. 7 is east. So encourages Kimiko to go from E6 to E7. Oh, there's some people on E7. Toshi's on E7. Anything happen when you get to E7? Oh, an environmental hazard. Ooh, fun. I like these. I'll make black the number 10s. Oh, 6/6. A volcano erupts. Everybody in the square must roll a 6 or better, which is just going to be 6 unless you have a move of a plus, or you will die. You will die. All right, so let's start with Kimiko. No pluses or minus. 1. Kimiko gets sucked in and murdered by the lava. Oh, Kimiko, your really nice weapon is dead. How about Sasuke, whose idea it was to come here? Walking off their zip ties. Also, immediately got erupted. A 1. Now, Toshi's also here with their rifle. Did they see it in time? No, Toshi, all of them get destroyed by the volcano. He was burned before. Now he's really burned. Some of the diamonds would have been Kimiko, but Kimiko is announced as dead. Dun dun dun. Amazing. Around 15. If you don't get out of the way, you will die of the lasers, the neck lasers. All right, Rio. What do they choose to do? There's an erupting volcano nearby. They choose to move. They are successful. East of D7. Can't go east, but you end up in E7. Just to see a fading away volcano and nothing but skeleton remains. Probably just not even that, but I think we just burned out people. That'd be awesome. Traumatic. Below, what do they choose to do? Maybe they heard it erupt as well. They want to move. Let's see what the screaming's about. Successful. 9 southwest of E8. F7. All right, get some out of that danger zone at least. Let's see if anything happens, like a volcano. Nah, nothing. We lost 3 people in that one. That's crazy. Mio still in the game. What you gonna do? Gonna search. Don't you like your rifle? Yeah, you can't find nothing anyway. Toshi turned to dust. Huh. Also turned to dust. So much for them. 3 people left. Oh, and that was the end of round 15. Is anybody in the danger zone? Anybody in C? No, nobody's in C. Anybody in H? Nobody's in H. Anybody in column 8? No, close, but no. And nobody's in column 3. Okay, so nobody's head explodes. Okay, at round 16, row D and row G are marked as dangerous, and so is column 4 and 7. Below. They want to attack, but nobody's in F7. All right. You, the only girl left. Nobody's in the same square, but she wants to convince somebody to join her side. And then Rio the bully wants to move. But doesn't get anywhere. That's round 16. Shuffle. Below, what you gonna do? Gonna try and move. It's a good idea. You're not successful. All right, Rio, what you gonna do? You would try to attack somebody, but there's nobody there. And then Mew. 4. Just gonna try and move. Not successful. That's round 17. Rio, what you want to do? The bully. Search. You don't like your crossbow? What's going on, buddy? I don't find anything anyway. All right, Malal. Malal wants to move. Not successful. And Mio. Yeah, wants to convince my joiner team, but there's nobody there. Okay. That's round 18. End of this round. Don't move to the center, you die. right, Rio wants to attack, but there's nobody there. Bilal also wants to attack, but there's nobody there. Nobody can find anybody to kill. Try and end this game. We're gonna try and search. Okay. Well, you don't find anything. Oops. All right, round 19 is done. Head popping time. Anybody in D? Yep. There goes Mew. Pop. Let's do G. Everybody's in G. Column 7. Everybody's in column 7. Everybody's head pops. Yeah, nobody wins. Don don don. God, nobody got out. I've never had this happen before. Everybody was in a danger zone. When it went off, all of their heads popped. They all explode. Nobody wins at round 19. That was the end. Oh, it's almost anticlimactic. I like those three. Well, I actually didn't. I only like Mio about the middle finger. Bilal was kind of cool, being unstable. The volcano was just vicious. Just got rid of some of the best players in like one swing. Um, and yeah, there we go. Well, that was a play test of Battle Royale. You can kind of see how it went down. Yeah, strangely, everybody got separated, couldn't get near each other, and got stuck in the mountains, and then their heads exploded, couldn't get out in time. And that is how it ends sometimes. All right, well, thanks for watching.